Stadium in Tempe will be packed today with divided loyalties. Plenty of Cardinal fans, but also thousands of Cowboys fans on hand for this big matchup of NFC Eastern Division rivals, the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. And here's why this is a big game. The Cowboys are tied for first in the division. The Cardinals must win if they have any hope of going back to the playoffs. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen along with Big Bill Moss. And, man, there's excitement here, Bill.
A lot of excitement. And for the Cowboys, a lot of excitement because Emmitt Smith is back toting the ball this week. He has a protective cast on his hand, a little foam padding, and the glove, but it's on his right hand. Emmitt carries the ball in his left hand, and I expect to see them run a lot today behind that big, dominant offensive line of the Cowboys, led by Eric Williams and Mark Stepnoski. Larry Allen will miss the day. Solomon Page gets to start. We'll keep an eye on that and see how that works. But they want to run the ball and chew up the clock because they don't want the Arizona Cardinals three big play wide receivers on the field going against that ailing secondary.
Everybody loves Mark Stepnoski, but what about that hair? What do we do with that?
It's Samson. He gets strength from his hair. You know, he's an undersized guy. He's got to be a strong guy, so he's got the long hair.
Ask the Cowboys what they're worried about with the Cardinals, and they tell you right away the three wide receivers. That's a pretty good trio.
As well they should. It's a great trio. Probably second best to the group up in Minnesota. But I expect to see them at three wide receiver set a lot today because these guys are big playmakers. They played a great game last week. They were all healthy. Rob Moore's come along, and they're playing together. Now, what they want to do is they want to go at the ailing secondary of the Dallas Cowboys. Deion Sanders been banged up. Kevin Smith has also been banged up. So they want to get them in nickel and dime situations to get those reserve corners on the field and attack them.
All right, let's find out what's going on with Deion. Let's go to the sideline to Kevin McCabe.
Well, when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys secondary, you're talking number 21, Deion Sanders. Ironically, he comes back in here to Sun Devil Stadium where he injured that turf toe last year, the brutal turf toe. Now he comes back in with a sore hamstring, a sore groin, suffered last week against Green Bay. Trainers told me they'll keep heat on it during the game, trying to keep it loose. They may even bring out a bicycle to keep him loose in the second half. Last time these two teams met, the Cardinals didn't at all go at number 21. Expect him to challenge him today.
Backup quarterbacks lead the way today. Dave Brown for the Cardinals, Jason Garrett for the Cowboys. Will be set for the opening kickoff right after these messages.
It's time for E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online. Philadelphia football got an adrenaline boost with Donovan McNabb's first start and Allen Rossum's special teams spark that set ablaze a 35-28 torching of the Washington Redskins.
45 midfield at the 45-40, 35-30. Allen Rossum's going to go! No penalty flags! Touchdown!
10,750, 10,502, 9,500. 13,400. No. 6,780.
If you can guess where the Dow will close at the end of the year, go to E-Trade for a chance to win $1 million.
1 million.
It's time for E-Trade. Contest ends November 28th.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, getting set for the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. For those of you just joining us from earlier games, a look at the scoreboard. Green Bay goes to 5-5. Carolina with a win over Cleveland. Miami beats New England, a big AFC East matchup there. Tampa Bay now 6-4, tied with Detroit. 6-4 Minnesota, 6-4 in the NFC Central. Indianapolis, are they rolling? 8-2. Big win in Philadelphia. We're about to close that one out. Seattle beats Kansas City. The New York Jets have now won 2 in a row, beating Buffalo. And Tennessee with a win over Pittsburgh. Chan Gailey knows how important this game is for his Dallas Cowboys as they're tied for first. Vince Tobin and the Cardinals have run out of mulligans. They must win, and they're starting a stretch of 4 straight games against NFC Eastern Division teams.
Well, Vince Tobin told us yesterday, he said, this is a must-win for us. And I talked to the group earlier in the week and told them the importance of this game in particular. They start a 4-game sweep against NFC East teams. It's a make-or-break game for them today.
Cowboys will receive the opening kickoff. Chris Jackie to kick off. And Jason Tucker is deep for the Cowboys. Cowboys won the first meeting between these two teams in Dallas 35-7. And here we go. Low line drive, bouncing kick. Tucker comes up to take it. Across the 25 and down around the 28-yard line. The Cowboys go on offense, and backup quarterback Jason Garrett starts again. Troy Aikman hopes to be back Thanksgiving Day. Mark Stepnoski is the glue in that offensive line, but the offensive line has played well. The rookie Solomon Page playing for the injured Larry Allen. Emmitt Thomas is back to lead the running game. Rocket Ismail is having a terrific year. David LaFleur is sprouting as the fine tight end.
Solomon Page is going to have his hands full today. We talked to everybody in the Dallas offense, and they said he's big, he's good, but he's a rookie. He's very, very green.
The toss to Emmitt Smith. Carries the ball in his left hand. Got the injured right hand. He shoved out of bounds up at the 32-yard line. Picked up about 4 on the play. Tom Knight shoved him out of bounds.
And we talked about Emmitt and that hand, and it's right hand, and he has that pad on it. It's taped up with the glove. But Emmitt carries the ball in his left hand all the time. Watch the handoff. Garrett has to put the ball in there. There's a little pitch, and see, it goes right to his left hand. He always carries the ball with his left hand. The Dallas Cowboys are going to run at Simeon Rice. A good pass rusher, but struggles a little bit against the run.
On 2nd and 6. The toss to Emmitt again. And he pushes his way up close to the 35. Ronald McKinnon, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Take a look at the Cardinals on defense. Simeon Rice leading the NFL with 10 sacks. Rashad Swinger and Jerry Traker in the first 2 downs. Then they'll switch to nickel. McKinnon, Fredrickson came over from Detroit having a terrific year. Patrick Sapp is in for the injured Zach Waltz. Aeneas Williams, he's the key man at the corner for the Cardinals. Here's 3rd and 3. Cowboys have to get to the 38. Garrett, nobody open, running for it. Dives down, it's going to be very close, and the spot is good for Dallas. It's going to be a first down.
Now, if you're wondering, Sam, about we just went through the lineups. And a lot of new names on both teams for Dallas, for Arizona. You look at anything, wow, this looks like a preseason matchup. Different quarterbacks. A lot of the stars are out on both sides. Of course, you know the stars on Dallas, but you look at Arizona's defense. They're without Wadsworth. They're without Swan, although we will see him in the rotation. They're without Mark Smith. A lot of big-name players for both teams out today.
Cowboys go with 2 tight ends. Eric Bjornsson in. The lone wide receivers, Rocket Ismail. Garrett gets time, throws for Ismail through his hands. Incomplete. Aeneas Williams covering on the play. The Rocket had a long touchdown pass in their first meeting between these two teams.
Well, there's Aeneas Williams on the matchup. And the one thing that Aeneas Williams learned, you see how far he played off and he started taking off downfield. In the first matchup, he got a feel early in the season on how fast Ismail is. And his speed is really something. Not the best route runner for the Cowboys or in the league. He's still learning to do that even in his 7th year. But his speed is what his threat is.
In his first year with the Cowboys after a terrific year last year with Carolina. Rocket in motion on 2nd and 10. Garrett being pressured, throws complete to Ismail. Across the 40 and down inside the 35-yard line. Kwame Lassiter finally took him down. But his speed and his quickness really puts fear into the defense.
Well, he gets coming in motion. I want you to watch. He comes in motion, and Aeneas Williams has to come with him. Now he takes off from the motion and works back into the middle of the field. And you see the separation on Aeneas Williams? That's the matchups you like to try to get. When you're matched up against a great corner like Aeneas Williams, you want to use a little motion with Rocket to create separation. It worked well there. Jason Garrett did a nice job of staying in the pocket and waiting on him.
Pickup of 27 on the play. On first down from the 35, it's Emmitt Thomas. Down close to the 30-yard line.
Or Emmitt
Smith.
Well, there's been a lot of
Robert
rotation.
Thomas as the fullback.
And he did a nice job. Robert Thomas did a real nice job, and he's been a big plus. You know, the fullback position for the Cowboys for years was Moose Johnson. And with his injury that he sustained, Find a guy. They brought different guys in. Tim Lester at fullback. But this Robert Thomas was a fullback this past spring in NFL Europe. They brought him over here, and they made him a fullback. And this guy does a real nice job of blocking. He reminds me of Robert Newhouse.
He just wanted to play, so he made the switch from linebacker to fullback.
The more you can do.
From the 31-yard line on second down, Garrett has time. Threw it behind. It's almost intercepted by Tom Knight. Threw it behind David LaFleur, the tight end.
That looked like there's a little miscommunication in a route. Sometimes with your tight end, you run a Y option, and it looked like Garrett thought he was going to come back in here, curl back in. See where the ball was thrown? Nearly picked off by Knight.
LaFleur goes out. 8th play of this drive. Cardinals have 6 defensive backs in, and Eric Swan, who's still recovering from the offseason knee surgery, number 98, is in.
Look at that 3-down lineman of Arizona.
Showing blitz out of the shotgun. A little confusion. The toss to Rocket Ismail is tripped up by Kwame Lassiter.
Anytime Arizona goes with that 3 defensive line front in nickel situations, they bring everybody in a variety of different ways.
So a good defensive series for the Cardinals. And the Cowboys. Dave McGinnis, the defensive coordinator.
Cowboys are going for
Cowboys are going for it on 4th down.
There's Dave McGinnis.
It would be about a 51-yard field goal try. Eric Swan is still in. Playing right over the center. Have to get to the 25 for a first down. Garrett, short drop, throws incomplete. It was over LaFleur, the tight end. The deep guy was the wide receiver, Rocket Ismail.
That was Ismail. I thought he had the tight end right at the seam, and it looked like he threw it right over LaFleur. But LaFleur was open.
Cowboys did not want to go for the long field goal. They fail on 4th down. The Cardinals take over.
Today is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
4th down, Dallas Gambles. Watch LaFleur here. Here they bring 3 receivers, but they have LaFleur right in here. Jason Garrett looking for Ismail. See LaFleur? He had LaFleur for the first down, but he tried to go over the top. Aeneas Williams had great coverage.
And now with Dave Brown at quarterback for the Cardinals. Adrian Morrell is the running back. And he's hitting the backfield. Beautiful play by Dexter Coakley. The Arizona Cardinals with Dave Brown, Jake Plummer expected to be back next week. But Dave Brown has been strong the last 2 weeks. He's hit 32 of 56 passes for 408 yards. The offensive line's got the rookie L.J. Shelton on the left. First year starter on the right, Anthony Clement. Joel Makovica is the fullback. Adrian Morrell, the running back. Michael Pittman is out with a toe injury. Brown gets time and throws and completes it. Up across the 40 to the fullback, Makovica. Well, that's a new look. They don't normally throw to the fullback out of the backfield. The Dallas front 7 has really played well. Chad Hennings, 5 sacks. Greg Ellis, 5.5. And Alonzo Spellman has been strong since moving to tackle. The linebackers, Coakley, Godfrey, and Hambrick with a lot of speed. And Deion Sanders and Kevin Smith, though banged up, still strong at the corners. Woodson, maybe the best safety in the league. 3 tight ends are in the lineup. Deion moving up close to the line of scrimmage. Shifting was Derek Brown, the new daddy. Dave Brown moving and gets up to the 45. He's got a first down.
Dave Brown taking a little of the Snakes page out of his playbook. You know, Dave Brown isn't the most fluent guy out there when he has to pull the ball down and run. And you watch him. He doesn't look like your typical running quarterback, but he gets the first down. And it's one thing he has learned from being here is following Jake and seeing how Jake keeps the play alive by his ability to scramble.
Jake Plummer is inactive. He began throwing this week and taking some snaps. He will practice this week, and they hope to have him back in the lineup next week when Arizona travels to play the Giants. On first down, plenty of time. The pump fake, they want to go deep, but it's overthrown way overthrown. The closest man to it was Kevin Smith. Rob Moore was the intended receiver.
And Kevin Smith is on the ground.
Down
He's grabbing that knee.
Hurting.
That's that knee that's been bothered them last week. And this, for the Dallas secondary, is something they really can't afford. They had Izell Reese go on IR. They had Wheaton go on IR.
They've had 10 players go on IR this season.
Watch, he comes down on the knee, and then he grabs right for it.
That's the worst news for the Dallas Cowboys. They're banged up secondary. They're counting on their front seven to do a great job to take some of the heat off the secondary. But there you see, as Smith went for the ball, he came up with the injury. We'll step out for a moment. Timeout on the field. 8:28 remaining in the first. No score. Smith being checked out by the medical staff. Looking at his right knee. Charlie Williams, fifth-year man out of Bowling Green, steps in his spot. 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals. Dave Brown swings it outside of Adrian Morrell. And he was hit by Deion Sanders and brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Good play by Deion coming up quickly.
You know, Morrell is back at starting tailback this week. Pittman is out. Pittman had a big week for him last week, and their ability, Arizona, to run the ball last week with Pittman really helped open up their offense. They made the change, and they went to Pittman. Now Pittman is out. He has an injury to his toe, and his shoulder's banged up a little bit. There's Pittman there. But Morrell now, this is a chance for him to regain that status. He has something to prove. This guy was a 1,000-yard rusher a couple times in this league.
3 years in a row. Mario Bates is also in. The pressure on from Greg Ellis. 6.5 sacks on the season for Greg Ellis, who leads the Cowboys.
Here comes the pressure up front. Here's Ellis at the top. Right here. See him right over top the rookie L.J. Shelton, and that's the pressure they need. They need to come, and when they come, they have got to come to the tackles. 2 first-year guys out there playing. That's where they force, and that's where they have to bring it.
With Deion hurting, Jason Tucker is back deep for the Cowboys.
And you talk about Dave Campo saying the front seven have to get the job done. It was pressure like that that took Dave Brown out of the picture. They had open man downfield.
There's Deion. Normally would be out there in punt return situations. We might see him in a short field. Jason Tucker with good speed is deep to receive the punt from Scott Player. Good high kick. Tucker at the 9. Looking to pick up a block. Gets up to the 20. Good return. 51-yard punt for Scott Player. And we've got some after the whistle activity. Things settle down. The Cowboys back on offense with 7:04 to go in the first.
Kevin McCabe on the sidelines here with the Cowboys. Kevin Smith, who continues to get worked on. He said he didn't feel anything pop out there. The trainers are putting a sleeve on his right knee. He hopefully expects to get back out there when they resume defense.
Thanks, Kevin.
A sleeve and some modern medicine, Jeff. You get that modern medicine going, you'll be back in the game.
From the 19-yard line, second possession for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith finds the hole, gets about 6 on the play. And the other injured, look at that. Look at the other injured cornerback. All wrapped up is Deion as they try to keep those legs warm.
If he gets a guy that's playing the drums and gets a guy with a flag playing the flute, it looked like that old Civil War picture.
Oh, man.
You know what the good thing is, though? He's got that wrapped down low on the hamstring. And if there is a good hamstring injury, it's down low. When it's up high, you just flat can't go.
2 tight ends in for the Cowboys. Rocket Ismail split out to the left. Emmitt up the middle, slips one man, gets through the hole. Nice pickup. Great run by Emmitt Smith. The thing that he was worried about is how would his hand feel when he hit the ground or when a helmet hit him.
Yeah, and that's what he didn't get to test in practice. He was able to catch the ball. He was able to run the ball, but of course no one's going to hit Emmitt Smith. And you see the great cut right there and the good vision. I mean, that's what enables him to make those cutbacks this year as opposed to last year is Mark Stepnoski in the middle, controlling the middle of that line. Last year, the middle of that line would always be pushed back into the backfield, and there wasn't room for that cutback.
Eric Swan is in along with Thomas Burke on the front line for the Cardinals. On first down, the end around to Rocket Ismail. Good pickup by Ismail as he gets up close to midfield. Tom Knight brought him down at the 49-yard line. The Cowboys want to find ways to get Rocket Ismail the ball. And there's one of them. 16-yard pickup.
As well they should, too. Now, see this set right here? This is a predominant run set. So I want you to watch the backers flow to the fullback as Ismail comes out the back door. See the backers going that way? And there's the seam, and there's the seal. And with that speed of Ismail, that's tough to combat.
Jeff Ogden and Ernie Mills are in at the wide receiver spots, and now Eric Bjornsson splits out to the left side. On first down from the 49. Delay to Emmitt Smith, and he takes it outside. Across the 40. Out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Pickup of 20 on the play for Emmitt Smith.
Well, there was some good blocking up front. There was some good running by Emmitt, but watch the block by the fullback, Thomas. Watch this kick out here. Number 44, he comes up on the backer, and see that seam? And that's where Emmitt Smith goes, right off his hips. Emmitt Smith's been working with Robert Thomas, a converted linebacker, as we said. Sometimes he's too aggressive, but there he made the contact and sustained the block, giving the seam to Emmitt.
46 of the rushing yards provided by Emmitt Smith already on 6 carries. Here's Emmitt on first down. The hole is there. Emmitt Smith to the 25. When he went out in the Minnesota game, when he was injured and broke the bone in his hand, he was on a record pace. He rushed for 140 yards in the first half alone. Emmitt Smith is 3rd in the NFC, 5th in the NFL in rushing this season.
He wanted to play last week.
Yes, he did.
He asked the doctors, and they said, well, I'm not sure about the incision. They're worried about the incision because they made an incision on that hand, put a plate in there, and 6 screws. And he wanted to go. The doctors and his team and the coaches decided not to let him go. I'll tell you, that's a tough man.
Here's Emmitt cutting it back. And he's down around the 22. Looks like he'll be about a yard short of the first down. Ronald McKinnon, number 57, the middle linebacker, made the stop for the Cardinals.
Well, there's that cutback again that I was talking about, alluding to a little bit earlier. Watch Stepnoski and watch what he does here. Here's Step. Now watch the middle of this Dallas Cowboys offense. See the seam right there? He walls off, and there's the cutback because Stepnoski just gets his body, uses his leverage and his body, and just seals guys off. Not an overpowering guy, knock you off the ball, but he's a technician.
2 tight ends in for the Cowboys. Chris Warren is in with Robert Thomas in the backfield on 3rd and 1. It's Warren, slips a man, gets the first down, and fights his way down to the 17-yard line. Tommy Lassiter made the tackle.
That was the 7th run in this drive. I mean, they got Rocket the ball, but that was on a reverse. This drive has been all runs. They have not dropped back and thrown the ball at all. This team's strength is their offensive line. You think about the whole Dallas Cowboys, offense, defense, everybody involved. It's that offensive line, and Chan Gailey loves playing to his strength. You have to remember where Chan Gailey's from. You think Pittsburgh, you think about that line and Jerome Bettis and the things that they did. He's leaning on his offensive line.
Emmitt Smith is back in. First down at the 17 of the Cardinals. Emmitt Smith slips one man. Flag comes in. Got about a yard on the play. And we'll pick up the penalty call from referee Ron Winter in his 5th year, a university professor. It's a holding against the Cowboys. After a clean start, this is the first penalty of the game.
Holding. Number 67 of the offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Everett McIver, the right guard, is called on the holding.
Well, that was their 8th run of the game, and watch Simeon Rice, and they have the tackle here, Adams, and they got the tight end over here as well, and they just take him out of the picture. If you want to neutralize a good pass rusher like a Simeon Rice, you run at them. I remember when we used to play Minnesota, and we'd play Chris Dolman. He was out there to eliminate his pass rush. We would always run at him.
Cowboys push back to their 27, still first down. Garrett throws short and completes it to Ernie Mills. Inside the 15, he's pushed back. Forward progress to about the 13-yard line. So they got back the penalty yardage, plus a little. Spot the ball at the 11-yard line.
Here's Mills in here, and here's Rocket. They come with a corner blitz, the slot blitz, And what that does, that leaves the opening. That's a hot route. When the slot blitz came, Ernie Mills saw it, and you adjust to it. You turn back inside where the coverage guy was, who is now blitzing.
How about the job Jason Garrett is doing of running this offense efficiently? He doesn't make mistakes. He picks up the reads. He's done a terrific job.
I would expect that from a guy from Princeton.
Second down, they have to get to the 7 for a first down. 2nd and 4. Garrett to throw, over the middle, touchdown, David LaFleur.
What a nice thrown ball by Jason Garrett. They had the safety closing in, and he had to put that ball exactly in the right spot for LaFleur to catch it, and he did.
81-yard drive for the Dallas Cowboys, and the running game set up the couple of passes there that turned into the touchdown. The tight end David LaFleur's 5th touchdown reception. Richie Cunningham out of the hold of Eric Bjornson. And the extra point is good. 9 plays, 81 yards. The Cowboys score first and lead the Cardinals 7-0. Jason Garrett finds the tight end David LaFleur.
Is brought to you by Lexus and our relentless pursuit of perfection. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Philips, technology that's making life better all the time. And by the U.S. Army, be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be.
I want you to watch this instinct. Here's LaFleur down here. Watch the traffic he runs on this post pattern. And here's Garrett. He's got time in the pocket, and he throws a perfect ball right in between the strong safety, Bennett, and Knight, the corner, along with McKinnon, who was dropping back as a linebacker. And he had the time to deliver a perfect ball. The one thing about Garrett, I never see him make a throw when he's not on 2 feet. He gets a good base, he has protection, he throws a good ball.
Look at the numbers, the complete opposites. Dallas scores in the first quarter. Arizona does not and gives up the most. Toby Goen to kick off to Mario Bates at the 7. Bates finds a lane, spins away, and finally is caught from behind. Up at the 35-yard line by Chris Akins. Cardinals on offense when we come back. Madden has told me you must spend Thanksgiving Day with him and Pat Summerall. They'll be in Detroit. Sit down, enjoy your turkey dinner, and enjoy Chicago and Detroit right here on Fox. Thanksgiving Day pregame show, 11:30 Eastern. Now the Cardinals on offense as the Cowboys have brought in 2 new tackles. The handoff to Adrian Morrell. Brandon Noble and Leon Lett are in at the tackle positions. Leon Lett in his 2nd game since coming back. There's Brandon Noble, who came out of the NFL Europe to earn a spot with the Cowboys.
Well, the good thing about this is they rotate their defensive line, and they don't miss a beat when they rotate.
Right.
They got about 8 guys they shuffle through there, and they can all play. And how effective that can be over the year about dominating an offense.
From the 37, Morrell again hitting the hole nicely, gets up to the 45. It's a first down for the Cardinals as we've come to the end of the first quarter. Cardinals again fail to score in the first quarter. They've been outscored 83-6 in the first quarter this season. They trail the Dallas Cowboys 7-0. We'll be back after these words and a message from your local Fox station. Back at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, the Dallas Cowboys with a 7-0 lead on the Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys have lost their last 4 road games. This is a good start for them, Bill.
Well, they're doing what they came here to do, too, running the ball and chewing up the time of possession. They've had it for 10 minutes in the first quarter. Arizona's only had it for about 4 something.
Cardinals from the 45 on first down. Frank Sanders in motion. Brown on the rollout. Looking and throwing, and it's through the hands of a couple of players. First, Rob Moore, and then Charlie Williams of the Cowboys almost had an interception.
Not too often you see Dave Moore running outside the pocket. Dave Brown. You never really see him outside the pocket much. That's not his forte. but he's getting some success in this offense. Actually, last week, the way he played and the times he's playing better than how Jake played. Jake had battled through all those injuries. He had the hip pointer, he had the thumb, he had rib injuries, then it was the broken finger. And Dave Moore, when he's played, has played better.
Brown short drop, throws quickly, and the ball is taken away by Dwan Hawthorne. The Cowboys think they've got it. It was intended for David Boston. The officials say it's a takeaway. It's an interception by Dwan Hawthorne, the rookie out of Northern Illinois.
Maybe it's not such a good idea to get those young guys out on the field. That's what they're trying to do. You know, Arizona wants to get the young defensive backs, the inexperience out in the field. To the right of your screen, you're going to see this transpire. There's the catch, and the ball pops straight up, and Dwan was there to pick it up. The little slant play to the inside of the hash marks to Boston, and the ball was thrown a little bit low by Brown.
Great play by Dwan Hawthorne, his second interception of the season. Cowboys went with 6 defensive backs, so with the injury to Kevin Smith, Hawthorne getting a chance to play and comes up with a big play. Cowboys from the 44. The toss to Emmitt Smith. Cutting it back. Gets about 3 yards on the play. Mark Maddox, number 53, is in, replacing Patrick Sapp. He and Sapp will alternate that outside linebacker position, vacated by Zach Waltz, who was injured last week, suffered a torn ACL.
You know, they really had to reshuffle their linebackers. When Jameer Miller left and the guys weren't there, they've had to reshuffle. Patrick Walls, they weren't sure who was going to start back there on the weak side. He starts. They brought in Rob Fredrickson from Detroit. And McKinnon, as the middle linebacker, has really come on this year.
Showing blitz. Garrett gets time, and he completes to Ernie Mills at midfield. He was pushed out of bounds. They marked forward progress at the midfield stripe.
If you're going to blitz, you have to get there. Somebody has to win the matchups on the blitz. And what happened is Dallas picked up the blitz. Watch the fullback here, gets a piece on the block. He comes in back, stones Fredrickson. Emmitt Smith stones Maddox, and there's no pressure up into the face of Garrett.
Cardinals bring in 6 defensive backs. On 3rd and 2, short drop. Garrett throws to Mills. He is hung on to. Good tackle on the play. But it'll be enough for a first down for the Cowboys. Corey Chavis hung on to Ernie Mills.
Ernie Mills is the one guy for Dallas that when Chan came here, you see him working against Corey Chavis. And when he came here, he brought him from Pittsburgh with him. Pittsburgh really was through with him. Guy in his 9th year, and you know, you can see his size, not a big physical receiver, but he's really helped Chan in getting everybody, all the other receivers, to understand what Chan is doing.
First down at the Cardinal 43. Emmitt Smith picks his way through the hole down to the 38. We've got an update on the Giants and the Redskins. For that, let's go to JB.
Hey, Sam, a pass interference call called against the Giants sets up Stephen Davis for his NFL-leading 15th rushing touchdown. It's Washington on top in the first by a touch. Sam Rosen and Bill Moss.
Thank you, JB. Back here in Tempe, they're interested in that game, and Washington trying to bounce back after the loss in Philadelphia last week. Giants lost to Indianapolis as they battle for first place in the NFC East. Emmitt Smith. Ooh, he ran in head on to Rob Fredrickson. Fredrickson had 22 tackles 2 weeks ago in the game in New York. Boy, a terrific pickup. Started his career with the Raiders, a former first-round draft pick, 4 years with them. Only 1 year with Detroit, and then came here as a free agent. A great pickup.
Well, he lives in the Phoenix area, and he wanted to come home after that 1 year in Detroit. And his last 2 years, he's been very effective, primarily because he's been healthy. Up in the Raiders, he had always sustained some injuries that kept him from being the player that he is. But he played at a great year last year, and he hasn't lost anything at all this year.
Empty backfield for Dallas. 4 wide receivers plus Eric Bjornsson. Garrett rolling. Being chased. Eric Swan after him. Brings him down at the 38-yard line. Swan, the big tackle, was able to catch up.
Well, when they go nickel, they bring Swan in the game. They bring Rice in the game, Simeon Rice. I want you to watch Rice on this stunt from here. He comes all the way around. Now watch McIver pick him up. Right there. He was closing in on Jason Garrett, and McIver comes over from the right guard spot and slides all the way over to pick up Simeon Rice to buy Garrett some time.
But not enough time. It brings up 4th and 4. Cowboys went for it earlier, and it looks like they'll go for it again.
Well, the reason they go for it in this situation here, because there's a couple things they can do. Richie Cunningham has struggled, so the field goal thing's been a problem.
Yeah.
They can run a play here, or if they take the delay a game, they still have a chance to punt.
But what about, all right,
They
let's
can
see.
take a delay here, move them back 5 and punt. See what Arizona comes out in. And they're coming.
Whoa, he looked like he almost jumped offside, did Lassiter.
Yeah, they're going to
He's
take
trying
the
to
delay.
draw him off. Now Garrett is checked off at the line.
Trying to get them offside. They're going to take the 5 yards to punt the ball.
There it is. They almost got him. Lassiter took one step into the neutral zone and then went back before he made contact.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 17 of the offense.
Yeah, they got him for the head count.
Remains 4th down.
But it's still okay. It's the same thing as the delay of game. They call him for the head count. When he's out there giving the hard count, trying to draw them offsides, a lot of quarterbacks will move. Now, some quarterbacks, they wouldn't call that on Dan Marino. But Jason Garrett comes in the game. They're going to call him for a head bob.
Oh, they might call it. Matt Cody is deep. Toby going, second in the NFC in punting. Ready to boot it away. Cody waves, lets it bounce into the end zone for the touchback. Deion Sanders trying to keep the legs warm. Dallas secondary trying to hold up. They've got a 7-0 lead.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Sunday is brought to you by Jeep, makers of Grand Cherokee, Cherokee, and Wrangler. By 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. By DirecTV, what are you looking at? And by the people of Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Cardinals offensive coordinator Mark Trestman, they want to open things up, but they haven't been able to get things going. That interception that Brown threw was 19th for the Cardinals, 5th for Brown, and that's a league high. Brown on first down rolling, gets rid of it, incomplete. Under big pressure.
You know, you're talking about Mark Trestman and this Cardinals offense and some of the things they had to go through. They went through a crazy offseason. A lot of problems.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Moore with the holdout. They had the car accident with the offensive lineman. The injuries to Plummer. He said Plummer came in, was phenomenal the first 2 weeks of training camp. He said he's never seen a quarterback grow that much in the offseason. Not physically, but his knowledge of the game and what they're trying to do. One of the things that Mark isn't able to do is run that no-huddle offense that they ran last year and were so effective with. He says he needs the time in the huddle for the new players to think about what they're doing.
Adrian Morrell gets up to about the 24-yard line, picked up about 4 on the play. One of the things about Morrell and Pittman they felt was a straightaway banger. Morrell tended to pick his holes and seems to be a little harder to block for this season for this young offensive line.
Well, the offensive line has been revolving. All kinds of guys have been in there. And Aaron Graham, who we talked to, the center yesterday, said it's been very difficult. This is only the second game they've all been together. And when you have a new guard playing beside you all the time, he's had 8 different guards since he's been here for 2 years, since 2 years ago. That's tough to get a feel.
4 wide receivers for the Cardinals. Brown under pressure. Grabbed Ellis, whirled him down. Brown threw the ball in the vicinity of Joel Makovic, I believe. Well, let's see. There was a wide receiver out there near the sideline.
Well, here's Ellis up top working again on the rookie Shelton. And what he did is he gave him his chest and Shelton leaned forward. And when he leans forward, then he took the chest away with the swim over the top. They're working on those rookie corners.
They try to get it to Adrian Morrell. Great pressure from Ellis. Deion Sanders, he wants in. And if he wants in, they put him in. Here's Deion from the 27. To the sideline, no opening, and he's not going to test it. You hear the fan reaction. 48-yard punt. Cowboys with a 7-0 lead and some outstanding defensive work. Besides football, we've got golf on Thanksgiving. Who's got the best short game? Top sharpshooters from the PGA, LPGA, and Senior Tour try to knock it stiff for $1 million payday. The Sun Microsystems Par 3 Challenge, Thanksgiving Day on Fox.
Remember when $1 million used to be a lot of money? I mean, they throw $1 million away every day on television.
Excuse me, let them throw it to me. It still is a lot of money. Garrett on first down, outside, completes the Rocket Ismail. Close to the first down marker. He actually went out of bounds at the 40, about 2 yards short of a first down, his third reception of the game.
By the way, Sam, if you were wondering, Thanksgiving is by far and away my favorite holiday. If I could have it my way, every day would be Thanksgiving. Anytime you have a day just to eat and watch football, what more could you ask for?
They haven't found a turkey big enough for you. Second and a long one.
Are you calling me a big turkey?
No.
It's a long way down.
You like turkey. Robert Thomas, the fullback, shifts. Garrett, 6 for 9 on the day. Throws too high and incomplete, intended for Ernie Mills.
Pass is incomplete.
Brings up a third and about 1.5 yards. Jason Garrett's brother is here. He coaches the quarterbacks for the Arizona Cardinals. They used to be teammates at Princeton and in the World League.
Wait, you talk about a football family? The Garrett family is all football. There's his brother.
John Garrett. Their dad is a scout for the Cowboys.
And he's out scouting on the road.
They've got a brother who's an assistant coach for New Orleans and another brother who's a high school coach back at home.
And talking with Jason yesterday, he asked a logical question. When you're done with this, would you like to coach? And he says, hey, it's in the family.
That's it.
He could see himself coaching.
Third and 1.5 yards. Emmitt takes the toss, waits for a hole to develop, and pulls his way forward, very close to a first down. I think they'll have to measure for this. See where the spot is. This is going to be real close. Emmitt Smith, 12 carries, about 66 yards. Chains will be brought in. And I think he made it. Look at this. Dallas controlling the ball, just what they wanted to do.
Executing the game plan perfectly. And on the other side of it, you know, they want to chew up the clock and don't want those big play receivers out there for Arizona. But the Dallas defense has really stepped it up. The front seven getting pressure on Brown. There's the first down. Secondary making plays. Backup comes in. They get an interception.
And none of those 3 wide receivers, the big 3 for the Cardinals, has had a catch in the game. So they've kept the ball away from the Cardinals, and they have run the ball, making the Cardinals prove, or trying to make the Cardinals prove, they can stop the Dallas run.
And Emmitt Smith has 65 yards already.
At the 42. LaFleur is the tight end to the left. Emmitt takes the toss and cuts it back. Weaves his way across midfield. He's got a first down at the Cardinals' 46-yard line. Tom Knight brought him down.
You know, he is an amazing player. If you think about over the years, all the injuries he's sustained and what he keeps giving you. Remember a couple years ago they said, Emmitt's lost a step. He's not the same running back. Look at this guy. And he just keeps chugging out yards. He said he really wants that record, Walter Payton's record. He said the sad part is he can picture a perfect day with Walter on the sidelines and him talking to him, and said everything can't be perfect.
The handoff this time a little slow developing, and an outstanding play by Tommy Bennett. There's a flag down on the play. Bennett hit Emmitt Smith just as he got the ball. It was a slow developing play. We'll check out the flag. Personal foul against the Cardinals. So this one hurts. Vince Tobin trying to figure out what happened here.
That was a run blitz. And Dave McGinnis said, hey, you know, they're killing us right now. They're banging us up front. I'm going to bring the strong safety in there and try to blow something up. Get in the backfield to slow that down. Because they're controlling the game. They're doing whatever they want by running the ball.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 91 in the defense. 15-yard penalty. The first down.
That's the defensive tackle, Rashad Swinger.
Right there, Rashad Swinger going at Solomon Page.
That cost the Cardinals 15. It brings the ball to the 33-yard line.
Now, Swinger and Drake have started every game this year. I mean, that's supposed to be Swan and Mark Smith in there.
Yeah.
And these two guys are just free agent guys.
Ismail in motion. Again, the toss to Emmitt. And after a little dance, he goes down with no gain on the play. Rashad Swinger, second-year man out of Rutgers, an undrafted free agent, made the tackle. They've got 5 undrafted free agents in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, and that's, you know, when you build a defense, you really build it through the middle of your defense. And it's amazing that these guys are as good as they are. They're all free agents. Normally you think your top-notch players are in there. We talked with Drake and Swinger and said, you know, everyone's expected to see 93 and 98 out there. It says we're the guys that got to do all the grunt work while they're healing.
Mills and Ismail both to the right side. 2nd and 10. Emmitt Smith taking it outside. And a short pickup as the Cardinals were there. McKinnon was there first. And then Kwame Lassiter finished it off. Good run to the ball by the middle linebacker.
You know, I like the way he plays. I really do. You know, he never really gets tied up with a blocker. Watch 57 and his flow to the outside here. He's scraping over the top, picking his hole. Watch him meet this perfect at the line of scrimmage. Gets a piece of Emmitt. But one thing he really does well, he uses his hands well in traffic. I never see offensive linemen get to him and stay with him. He sheds them very quickly.
Cowboys have to get to the 23 for a first down. Blitz is on. Garrett gets rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Rocket Ismail. A flag is down in the secondary. Maybe against the Cardinals again. See what Ron Winter tells us. Offside against the Cardinals.
And a hold.
And a hold. Well, they'll take the hold. That'll be an automatic first down.
Oh, what happened was on the blitz, they were in the neutral zone when the ball was snapped. They got crowded up there. They came with the blitz right up the middle, and they were in the neutral zone when they snapped the ball.
Offside. Number 44 of the defense lined up in the neutral zone. Let penalties decline. Holding. Number 44 of the defense. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
McCleskey did both?
No, actually it was 42 was downfield. They got Kwame Lassiter on the hold with Mills. Right in here, you're going to see McCleskey comes up and walks across the neutral zone here.
And then he goes back and he holds. Yeah, so it both on him. 2 penalties on the Cardinals, but that hold is a first down at the 26-yard line for Dallas.
That double dipper's no good.
Blitz coming again. Garrett, incomplete. Intended for Ernie Mills, who was well covered by Tom Knight on the play.
And Dave McGinnis is forced to create different ways to stop the run now with the blitz. Now they have to get pressure on Garrett, and it's really tough to get to Garrett. As I said earlier, he never really is running around. Every time he throws the ball, both his feet are planted. He throws a precise ball. He's accurate. That offensive line is good. The backs pick up the blitz well. And a guy doesn't make many mistakes with the football. McGinnis told us, he says, hey, you know, most of the times you get a backup quarterback, they're going to make mistakes. Jason Garrett doesn't make mistakes.
6-2 as a starter. Bjornsson in motion. Here comes the blitz again. It's picked up, and Garrett throwing for Ernie Mills. He's got it, goes into the end zone, but there's a flag on the play. It looks like they whistle this one dead.
That was the field judge, and I believe they're going to, no, that's a field judge. That comes from the back. I believe he looks at the clock. I believe it's delay a game.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
What a grab on the play by Ernie Mills. Did a terrific job of catching the football. So the touchdown, what might have been a touchdown, is taken away.
There's Ernie Mills. Watch him working outside here. Coming back over the top of Knight. That was a heck of a grab.
Great catch.
Adjusting to the ball. And sometimes, you know, when you have that matchup and they're tight down, the quarterback will throw it to the back shoulder like that to have the receiver make the adjustment, because he will have the advantage on the cornerback.
Ball back to the 31 on second down. Garrett with a pump fake, throws short and complete. Emmitt Smith coming out of the backfield, so Emmitt
can catch
doing
too.
it all. I've been noticing for the most part in the running plays, they've been using the toss a lot. I think that's perhaps a little easier between Garrett and Emmitt.
Also, too, Sam, what it does is it gets that flow going a little bit with your defense. And with the ability of that offensive line, as we talked about with Stepnoski, Emmitt has some vision he can use. He can set up, because Emmitt likes to set up his defenders and create his own holes. And when he gets that little toss to the outside, he has time to set up his pass.
Have to get to the 16-yard line for a first down. They're 4 for 6 on third down.
Warren in the backfield.
Garrett swings it out to Robert Thomas, and he is upended. Beautiful tackle by Tom Knight. Short of a first down. It'll bring up a field goal situation for the Cowboys.
But watch this. You know, this is football. This is NFC East. Don't you love that? You see the bodies flying around. I mean, that's highlight film stuff when you see the bodies flying around, doing somersaults in the air. How many times do you see that Elway shot when he goes up and dives and spins around?
Richie Cunningham, a 38-yard attempt. He hit his last two last week. Bjornsson, the holder. It's on the way, and it is good. Cunningham has now made his last 3. There's a flag on the play now. And the Cardinals are applauding. They think it's against Dallas, and it is. So, take the 3 points down. And let's see what the Cowboys do as they're backed up 10 yards. It'll be a 48-yard attempt now.
Anytime they get that holding call, that usually comes on the wings, on the outside guys. And the outside guys for that field goal unit right there, that's Mike Lucky out there.
Holding. Number 44 of the offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat fourth down.
That's the fullback, Robert Thomas.
And he's the wing. I want you. Here's Lucky and here's Thomas. 2 rookies right here. There's Thomas. That's where the holds always come, on the outside. Watch, he steps inside, he lays out right there and drags him down. Drags down McCluskey.
So now move back 10. Cunningham will try for a season-long 48-yarder. Out of the hold of Bjornsson. And he hooked it, and it's no good.
And that's where he's been kicking the ball. His misses have come. He's been hooking the ball left.
So the penalty is costly. 3 points are taken off the board. It remains a 7-point game. The Cowboys leading it. Cunningham misses.